Hi, I'm Duffy Dixon with Duffy Dixon Media.
Hi, I'm Lashina Recruitalina Matthews with Love What You Do, LLC.
And hello, my name is Aaron Wynn. I'm with Hunter Recruitment Advisors. And today, my friends and I have gotten together to put a video to help all of you, job seekers, as well as office teammates, be able to take on this new world of video conferencing.
That's right. So these are all things we've learned the hard way. And by no means do we know every trick of the trade, but I do this for a living. And you two deal with this probably more than I ever will in meetings and recruiting. Is recruiting actually happening on video conferencing?
Yes, absolutely it is. So we're seeing it on the recruiting side as our hiring managers are interviewing candidates, and we really want to be able to share some tips and tricks that we've learned along the way so that you, as you're interviewing, can be at your very best.
So one of the first things that I came to understand was it's about lighting. You got to be able to see the people that you talk to.
Uh,
What are some of the tips and tricks that you both have learned about the lighting? Let's start with Duffy.
Okay, so the big thing is you have to light your face, right? So all of us practiced ahead of time. That's why hopefully we look really good. But we're going to show you an example of what not to do. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go through your house with your laptop if you can and look for natural lighting. Okay, so I have windows. So hey, look, there's a window behind me. The problem is
Yeah,
if that's the light behind me, you don't see me, right?
Nope.
no, definitely not.
Okay. So if I do it, even if I have the light there, first of all, I look blue. I don't know what's wrong with my windows. I look like
A
blue.
major difference.
So
Major.
what we've all learned is we use a little bit of outside light, and then can you see that light I have?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go back to my spot, right? So I have natural light over there coming at my face from one angle, and I put the other light there. What have you guys done?
Well,
Well,
I'll show you that I have a light that's attached to my desk. So
Ah,
then I have that light from that angle, and then I have a natural light window from that angle. So the two are coming at me from these directions.
yeah, you look nice and filled out. That looks perfect.
Good.
and the thing is, you don't have to be an expert. You know, you saw Duffy, she's got a great lamp that you would use for television and other media. Lashina has a really bright light, but sometimes you can use something as simple as just lamps from your house. Just take,
Mhm.
That's right.
Perfect.
And a little bit of natural light doesn't look bad. I mean, we're in our homes like and so that works exactly. Are we going to talk about backgrounds?
well, that was actually the next thing because it's great that everybody can see everything, but do you want everybody to see? I think that's the first thing. I mean, Lashina, how do you prepare a space, for interviewing, as well as for meetings that you're having?
Yes, I'm fortunate that I have a blank wall back here. I did take some pictures off, but for some of the candidates that we're interviewing, we're seeing that, kids are at home, their spouses are at home. So they are finding ways to just partition their back off so that it's a blank canvas, if you will, and it's not showing maybe their living room sofa or their kitchen sink.
That makes sense. And
That's right. So if you're in the kitchen, be aware people are going to be walking around you and be aware of what's behind you. It may be sending a message that's not necessarily a bad one, but if you have clutter, someone could think, oh, they're messy. Okay, we all have clutter, let's be honest. So just don't
Yes.
show it. If you have wine bottles or wine glasses, that could be great. But if you're trying to get a job, maybe that's not the best thing. I agree. And try to figure out what's going to be easiest for your family too, because you're right, Lashina. I mean, how many videos have we seen of kids? They don't mean to, just running through. Try to find a quiet space and a background you can control.
that's right.
Mhm.
And just remember when you're interviewing, you don't want anything to distract from you as the candidate. And so it may be a great picture of you at a concert, but you don't want that to be the focus. You want it to be about your job set or your job skills. And if you're a leader of a department, while it's fun to be whimsical, the reality of it is that you're leading a department. And so you need to exude that type of perspective. And what goes on behind you will say a lot.
And
So
also virtual, like there are virtual backgrounds now, and a lot of people are offering them for free. Those can be great, but you have to practice with them ahead of time and have to make sure they're going to work all the time. And be aware if your virtual background gives way or it stops working, we're going to see what's really behind you.
that's
I've seen
right.
them good and bad. Some people have green screens. And you had, Aaron, you know about it, like a trifold, something you can buy to just set up a background.
That's exactly right. I mean, in my usual calls that I'll have with people, I'll actually put a trifold screen behind me because behind that is a pool table, could be an air hockey table. That's not what I'm trying to project when I'm talking to candidates or clients.
Right.
And, you know, one of the other things that we have to be really careful of is where our camera adjustments are at. How you're positioning yourself. It seems really small. You wouldn't think much about it, but Duffy, you've had a lot of experience on camera. What are some things that we should be providing insights to for the people watching this video?
Okay, so this is the number one thing, and I think everyone's heard it. Maybe you haven't, though. This is the key. Your eyes need to be equal with the camera. So on your screen, your camera should be right here at the top, or on your phone, find out where the camera pin is, not where the screen is, but the camera. And you should be looking in that lens. So we're going to do a little exercise. So when I'm talking, what I want to do is look at your faces, but instead I'm looking right into the lens. Okay, now, Lashina, you start talking. Where would you like to look? And then look into the lens.
I'm looking in the lens right now. And do you want me to look somewhere else?
Okay, now look at us.
Okay, I'm looking at you.
Okay, see, as listeners, we want to see you looking at us. So when you're talking, it is imperative you look into that lens. This is uncomfortable. This is something I teach for media training. You cannot be shifting around. If you're one of those people who talks and thinks and does this, you can't do it in this setting. You just look shifty. You look like you're searching for something. You've got to practice in front of the mirror or with a spouse or even your pet if they will sit still. Focus on talking into the lens. Act like that is your friend that you're talking to.
Great
Now,
suggestion,
Lashina,
Duffy, because some of the video conferencing tools now, they have it where you can adjust what you see in your view. So like now I've adjusted my view that I see you in the big part of my screen, but I also see you in the very top, right by the camera. So I'm able to have eye contact with you, but I'm still looking at the camera.
Yeah,
So
we're using Zoom. That's right. Because does it look like I'm that far off? I'm looking at you guys and the camera, you guys and the camera. Oh, that helps.
yeah.
I see a big picture in the middle and then the little ones across the top.
So look for whatever's closest to the camera.
Yes.
Lashina, one of the things though, I wanted to make sure when we're talking about the camera placement is that hiring managers, do they sometimes get distracted whenever candidates are looking in different directions? I mean, is that even a big deal?
It is definitely a very big deal that there's distractions that are going on. And so then you can't have that eye contact. And because we're living in this virtual world right now, it's so extra important that we are having those personal connections through the camera. And the only way to do that is with that eye contact and then also with body language. Remember, your body language is exuding over the camera just as much as your eye contact. So making sure that you're still showing your personality through the camera.
So that body language piece, I mean, I think a part of that is where our cameras are angled at.
Right.
Be looking right at it, but the reality of it is that where we're angled, do we look like we're looking up at somebody? Or do we look like we're looking down at somebody?
Right. How many of you guys have seen this? So this is how we all started doing it. This is what everyone started doing the first week of video conferencing. This was our life. So that just doesn't look good. Okay. So tell me, you guys weigh in on what you think when you see it like this.
You're really close.
Yeah. And it's half of your face.
Okay. What do you think what does this look like to you?
Looks like you're looking down on me.
I feel like a little kid.
All right. Conversely, this is how everyone takes their selfies, you know.
That's
Yeah.
right. And that's how we're looking down at you. And I think a lot of times people...
I like that, Duffy. You
I know,
make me
it's great.
feel tall. No, I'm just kidding.
It's great for a selfie, but don't I look like, please, sir, may I have another?
Well, and I think that's the thing that you brought up, Duffy, is that, you know, video conference calls, they're not like selfies.
Right.
A selfie, you're trying to get a picturesque scene, whereas a video conference call, you're trying to have dialogue and feedback. You want the content of your conversation to really be what wins the day. Lashina, when it comes to interviewing, what are some of the more crazier things that you've seen in terms of the stagings that candidates have had?
Well, we're living in a different world right now. So I think that, some of the crazy things is that you don't turn on your camera at all, which is a big no-no.
Mm.
That's a big no-no for the interviewee as well as the interviewer. This is a two-way street, right? In any circumstances, we should both have the camera on so that you're making that connection. And so make sure you have the camera going, and then also, try to make sure that you have your background as clear as possible, that you're not too far off from the camera, like we were talking about, so that that it's really focused on you.
That's right. We talked about how much of you should show. So, you want it back a little. Like I tend to sit too close because I'm trying to type in things. So you don't want a ton of headroom. We've all practiced this too, right? So those all look great. That's something I would see in person. For women, you do not want to be showing too much of this. It just gets awkward and weird. Do not sit down and put your camera that way. No one needs to be seeing your body. You don't need a whole bunch of headroom. So just a comfortable, and a good rule is just a tiny bit of room right there. And that's good. So is that enough for body language?
That
I think
looks
so.
great.
Yep.
So those are just some of our tips, okay? This is stuff we just like to go back and forth, and we had one call before this and probably were laughing a little too much trying to figure it out. So if you guys like this, we're gonna put it out on social media. If you like it, let us know. We have a couple more we'd like to do for you, more about body language and more about the do's and don'ts and etiquette on video. Those should be fun. So join us next time. You guys are great.